I'm combining two of my great loves, carbonara and risotto, into one luxurious dish. It's quite indulgent, but I've got some great tips on how to make a really comforting risotto that's gonna be like a warm hug for you this winter. First, I'm gonna start with my hot pan and a few tablespoons of good quality olive oil. I popped half a brown onion into my medium to hot pan, and I want to cook that for around about 5 minutes until the onions are nice and translucent. While this onion's cooking, I'm going to chop my bacon. I've got 2 rashers of long bacon. I prefer to use the long bacon. It's got a bit more fat into it. It's a little bit more tastier, I think. You can slice off the rind and then just dice it. I'm gonna pop the bacon straight into the pan here. The fat of this bacon is going to cook down and give this risotto a lovely, smoky, porky flavor, which is found, of course, in a carbonara. At this point, you want to ensure that there's enough fattiness from the olive oil and the bacon in the pan because you want to coat the rice. I want to add enough rice to make a layer of rice on the fry pan. And then at this point, you just want to mix that rice in with the onions and the bacon, and you want to cook the rice off for a good few minutes until the rice itself becomes a little bit translucent as well. The next ingredient I'm going to add, which is again one of my favorite things, a little bit of white wine. We want to make sure that the alcohol is cooked off and it doesn't have too much of a winey taste. So get your pan nice and hot, and you want to hear a sizzle when you add the wine. The key to a good risotto is a good quality stock. I've made my own chicken stock. It's really simple to make your own. Otherwise, you can buy a good quality free-range chicken stock, or you could keep it veggie as well. And you want to make sure that your stock is really nice and hot. You want to add your stock gradually, so a ladleful or 2 at a time. Let that stock absorb and slowly cook the rice. Give it a good stir. Turn this heat back down a little bit. I'm not the type of person that stands over a risotto and stirs it the whole time. I just don't think it's necessary. I think you add your stock, give it a stir, let it cook and reduce, and then just keep adding some more stock and then give it a good stir towards the end. The risotto is starting to come together. It's lovely and creamy. I reckon I've got about 5 minutes to go, so I'm going to make my little creamy carbonara element, which honestly just reminds me of my childhood. I think this is one of the first dishes my mum taught me to cook. My mum always let me mix in the cream and the cheese. So comforting. So I've got 1 egg yolk, some cream. Now, cream doesn't always go in carbonara, but for this dish, I like that little bit of extra richness. And then some finely grated Parmesan cheese as well. I mean, you can put in as much or as little as you like, but I want this to be really nice and cheesy. Some cracked black pepper. Whisk this all together. Now, back to my risotto. This is looking really lovely and creamy. It's really soft and glossy. And that's what you want in your risotto. At this point, it's ready to be finished off with our creamy egg and Parmesan cheese mixture. Stir it through. I've adopted a spatula, but of course you could use a spoon. I've got some chilled cubes of butter that have been in the fridge. And you really want to add cold butter to finish off your risotto. A few cubes in there, stir it through. I like to serve risotto on a plate. So I've got a plate here. Scoop that up, pop it into the middle, and the consistency of the risotto should be nice and wet. So to the point where if you tap the bottom of your plate, it kind of just spills out. And of course, we have to finish this off with just a little bit more shaved parmesan. This is the ultimate comfort food. Your family are going to love it. Your friends will too if they come over for a dinner party. But for now, it's all mine. That is heaven.